Hey, welcome to Barn Tech. I'm in the barn today with my son's 2010 Dodge Ram. It's throwing a P0302 engine code for cylinder 2 misfire. Today we're going to figure out why and get this truck back on the road. Okay, the first thing we did is we pulled the spark plugs. Let me get you in there and show you what I found. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these is not like the others. Cylinder 2 here has a different color on the tip of the electrode. So what could be causing a different color on the tip of the electrode? Let's do some more exploration. Well, we got a new set of plugs and wires, and that didn't do a hill of beans. So it's not the plugs and wires. Just wanted to rule that out because that was the easiest thing to check first. Okay, I cleared the code and I swapped 2 of the coil packs to see if I could make the error go to a different cylinder, and that didn't help either. So now I'm on to the next thing. Okay, the next easy thing is to pull the injectors and switch 2 of the injectors and see if the issue goes to a different cylinder. Of course, we did that and it didn't change anything, still cylinder 2 misfire. So we ruled that out though. So we think it's not a fuel issue, it's not a spark issue. The next thing that we need to rule out is compression. Well, I got a huge clue the other day. My son called me and said that his truck overheated. When I got there, I saw that he was about a gallon low of coolant in the radiator, but the overflow tank was full to the mark. So that tells me that there may be something going on with the head gasket. So let's get in there and check that out. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I noticed that the issue seemed to happen most often first thing in the morning after the truck had sat overnight. And it would get a puff of white smoke that would go away after a bit and run rough until the white smoke went away. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the number 2 spark plug here, and we're going to look for evidence of coolant down inside the cylinder. Okay, if you don't have a bore scope, you need to stop what you're doing right now, go to Harbor Freight and buy one. These things are not that expensive, and I have found like 5 different uses for mine this week alone. Okay, so here we go. We're going to look down inside the number 2 cylinder and look for evidence of moisture. All right, getting down into the cylinder now. Whoa, what's that I see reflecting? There's some liquid in there. Not supposed to be a reflection like that. So there's, yep, cylinder's got coolant in it. Let me touch the camera to it. Bring that out. Yeah, that's coolant for sure. All right, well, we got most likely a blown head gasket. Let's get in there and fix it. Good grief, some of these things are hard to reach. This would be a lot easier with the cab off, but I'm pretty sure that would add an extra day onto the surgery here. So let's see now that we've got that off of there if we can. Oh, there it goes. Perfect. Whew. Man, that was a battle. All right, now maybe with this out of the way, I'll be able to get that oil, or be able to get the valve cover past. There we go. That was the trick. Okay, here we are with the bore scope again. This time I've got it in cylinder number 1, and I'm turning the crankshaft until the piston gets up to top dead center. That's going to help us figure out our timing for this overhead cam up here. Got to be right there now. Oh, I just felt it rock over the top. And the way we're going to do this, I'm not going to turn the engine while it's apart. I'm going to do my best to keep the crankshaft still. And so what we got to do is just make sure that this camshaft on this head gets lined up exactly the same when we put it back together. All right, so you see this yellow dot next to the R for the right head is pointing toward the crankshaft. Then it looks like there's 1, 2, 3. It's the 4th tooth. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's the 4th tooth from the chain on both sides there. So as long as we get it put back exactly like that and don't turn the crankshaft, then it doesn't matter if this is top dead center or 180 degrees out. But I'm pretty sure with this dot pointed toward the crankshaft, that's top dead center. Okay, I've been at this for a while. It's midnight. I need to go get cleaned up so I can go to work tomorrow. But we will be back just like... Come on. Oh, it's like it's hung up on the wiring harness. Sneaky of that ground strap to be on the back of the head like that. Couldn't see that coming. Until we had the head halfway off anyway. Alright, don't drop the bolt in cylinder. Alright, here we go. One more time. There we go. Should be this cylinder here. Is it that? You know, this is a multi-layer steel gasket. And on this side over here, I'm not seeing a lot of wave to the gasket. So this may just be a case where the multi-layer steel gasket failed. It just lost its springiness and let a little bit of moisture seep through. That's the best I can tell. There's just not a lot of contour to the gasket between this water jacket and the number 2 cylinder. Let's go look at the head and see what we see over there. The main thing that caught my attention about this one, if you look around the cylinder here, you can see 2 score marks going all the way around on all of these cylinders where that head gasket was crushing into the aluminum here. And what it looks like over here, I don't really see the 2 marks distinctly like I do around the rest of the cylinder. So I'm going to clean this up and we'll inspect it a little bit better once I get it cleaned up. But that's what we found so far. Not exactly how a machine shop would do it, but this ought to work just fine for us. I like to use a little WD-40 just to keep the whetstone moving smoothly across there. And then we'll clean it off. Now, of course, I used a gasket scraper first. That got the big chunks off. And then the whetstone gets a nice smooth finish for that new gasket to bite into. One thing I've noticed here, And I thought I noticed this on my last pass with the whetstone. I'm noticing a spot between the number 2 cylinder and this water jacket that the whetstone is not giving a smooth finish to. That may have been where my little leak was. Let's go ahead and do this a little bit more. And I'm trying to make sure that I get even coverage around the entire cylinder head. I don't want to wear on one part any more than the rest of it. Just keep it wet, keep the stone flat, and just rub it around on there to polish that surface. I'm not really trying to take any material off, just trying to polish the surface. You can see just good, smooth, polished finish on the rest of the head, except that spot right there. I'm just going to keep polishing until that spot disappears, and then I'll clean it up real good and stick it back in the truck. Alright, got everything cleaned up real good. Time to put this cylinder head back on. Well, my GoPro battery died as I was putting on the cylinder head the other night, but I'm going through right now and torquing each one of these camshaft cap bolts to 110 inch-pounds. I believe that my hand is probably calibrated better than any of my torque wrenches for such a small torque setting. Okay, now the next thing is going to be kind of a pain. I've got this camshaft sprocket set back on there the way that I want it. Engine's still at top dead center. The R dot is aimed toward the idler sprocket down there, and it's got 1, 2, 3 teeth showing, 1, 2, 3 on each side of the dot. So it's lined up exactly how it was when I took it out. But now I've got to get the tensioners put in properly. So I'm gonna wrestle with this for a little while. If I find a magic trick, I'll let you guys know, but I have a feeling it's just gonna mean wrestle it around until it finally lines up. So there's probably not a secret trick to it. It's just keep doing it till it works. Okay, I was able to get this wedge-shaped punch in there, and that held it in position good while I stepped up the sizes of these center punches to get the hole aligned. And once I got the hole aligned, I was able to get the bolt started in there. So it was a pain, but I finally got it. All right, torqued this to 90 foot-pounds. I also put a little bit of Loctite red on there, because if this bolt comes out, it's a bad day, and I'm going to need an impact wrench to get it off anyway. So Loctite red, it's your friend. Okay, now that I think I've got all the timing stuff set how it belongs, I'm going to rotate the crankshaft a couple of times. I'm going to watch and listen and make sure that everything is acting like it's supposed to. Make sure I don't have any valves bind up on pistons or anything dumb like that. So this is just a quick verification after I set the timing, just to make sure that I didn't break anything, because if I just turn the key without doing this and something is wrong on the timing, the whole engine's coming apart. I kind of went back and forth a couple of times and watched these guides, and it feels like the guides are now slipping on the chain better. It felt like they were kind of binding up the first couple of cranks that I put on it, but now I think the tensioners have kind of automatically set themselves. It feels like everything is turning over smoothly, and I've almost got a complete rotation now. All right, That was a complete rotation when this dot pointed back toward the balance shaft. So I think we're good. I think we got the timing all set right. Now it's time to start reassembling everything. This EGR pipe is probably the biggest pain in this whole project. It's right up against the firewall. Sometimes you gotta sit up here in the truck. Sometimes you gotta stretch over the fender. Sometimes you gotta dangle your legs off the bumper. There's just no good way to reach everything in here. All right, it's time to place your bets in the comments. Did I do everything right? Is it just gonna crank up and run? Or did I miss something? Let me know what you think, and I'll show you in just a minute. Okay, if you guessed that I forgot to hook up the negative battery cable, you won the prize. I'm actually not surprised that I forgot this because everything else that I took off, I placed in the bed of the truck in the order that I took it off, so I knew that I had everything put back on. And this one is just one of those things that's so obvious that you don't think to put it on a list or anything. Got that hooked up, and now I'm going to prime the fuel system, and she should fire right up. Okay, I've turned the key on a few times to prime the fuel system. Now let's see if she starts up. Hey, I heard one of the lifters for a second. Sounded like the fuel system wasn't happy for a second, but she cranked up. She's running good. I've got no check engine lights on right now. I'm going to run it for a bit, let the oil warm up, let the thermostat open up, top off the coolant, change the oil and filter real quick. She should be good to go. Hearing this truck run again reminds me of the Bible verse I was reading this morning. Psalm 23 says, "Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Thanks for watching. God bless. See you next time.